Well, important for Arsenal once more at the moment, particularly after Manchester City did what they had to do yesterday and come from behind against West Ham United, but they managed it really well. Arsenal, comfortable performance and only the one goal in it in the end, but it was absolutely enough. They'll be worried about the Martinelli injury, though, and I'm delighted to say that Richard Butler, Arsenal podcaster, Over and Arsenal, joins me right now at the top of the show. I thought it was a decent game, decent performance. They still, for this young side, they are. There was a deal of patience today that I thought was important at times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, these are the sort of games, aren't they, where it's never easy. Especially for us at Goodison, we've had a poor record there in recent years, and it was always going to be a matter today of having to, patience was really important, and also just to make sure that we try to not concede too many daft free kicks and stuff around our box, because that's where Everton have caused us problems previously. And I thought we did it really well today. I thought the game plan was perfect. Yes, we didn't always play the fantastic free-flowing football that we want to see always, but you can't always do that. You have to adapt to your opposition. And I was saying during the game that, you know, if you want to be serious about winning league titles and winning big trophies, these are the games you have to find a way to win. It's not always easy, but you've got to do it. And that was what really impressed me today, the way that we stuck at it, we kept going, and in the end, our quality in the final third showed. What a great goal it was as well. Well-made, well-taken goal. And so important. That's such an important part of the game as well, because the longer it stayed at 0-0, you could see Everton were growing in confidence, feeling they could get something from the game.
Yeah, I mean, with one or two of their substitutions as well, knowing that you've been a little brittle at times against the big and up front towards the end of games. And I thought that handled it really well. And you can see as well, after what has been an international break, you know, to come off the back of that and to continue with a victory when you're under the sort of pressure that this side is, having chased Manchester City all the way last season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know sometimes it's, you know, we spoke about the international break last time after the Man United game. It's great to go into an international break on a victory, but coming back from an international break with a difficult away game, these can be the games where you can easily slip up. And today it had banana skin written all over it, didn't it, beforehand? You know, going to a place where we've got, I say, such a bad record. But I thought they really did well today. You say it's a young team still. Yes, it is. They've got more experience now this season, haven't they, from what we went through last year. And I was a little bit worried today when we had a midfield with Martin Ødegaard and Fabio Vieira, because Martin Ødegaard got bullied in this game last season. Fabio Vieira's not really established himself yet in the team, but yet they both today really played well, didn't they? Vieira was brilliant today, I thought. He created the goal that was disallowed, a brilliant pass. He was involved in so many great things. And Martin Ødegaard does what Martin Ødegaard does, you know, pushes the team forward. And Declan Rice in that midfield, he's made such a difference to this team. He's just a phenomenal player. And once again today, he was probably our best player again. He has been maybe every game he's played, which is incredible for a player that's just come into the team. But I wanted to mention the goalkeeper as well today, his debut. Yeah. And although he had a lot to do as a goalkeeper, he looked so comfortable and confident, didn't he, with everything that he had to do there, with the ball at his feet when he came for crosses. He looked really, really comfortable. And that was great to see as well for a player making their debut.
I think that Mikel Arteta was saying afterwards, you know, what was important to him and impressed him was that there was the patience this time, but we took the game where we wanted it to be played. And he thinks that after those not having won at Goodison Park for 6 seasons, this is a very important win for Arsenal at the stage we're at.
Absolutely. I mean, last season, we only won twice in the north of England all season away from home. That was at Newcastle and at, I can't remember, Leeds, wasn't it? So it's a really important victory for us to be able to go to a difficult place and get a victory in the way that we did as well, because it wasn't easy today. I know we played well, we dominated possession, but Everton made it tough for us. And we're going to find that when we go away from home a lot more games. You know, Crystal Palace recently away from home, very similar type of game, wasn't it? You know, we didn't play brilliantly. We had to have patience in that game. We had to survive with 10 men at the end, and we can dig in and get these results now. And although we're still not playing with the fluency that we maybe did for spells last season, at the moment that doesn't matter because it's working. We're getting, you know, we're facing the opposition that we're facing, we're producing the performance that we're producing, and we're getting results without necessarily playing as well as we can. There's more to come from this team, definitely. There's no doubt about that. Certain players as well, they're still to hit the heights, and when they do, this team can go, who knows where it can go, actually, because we're getting these results now when we're still not quite clicking yet, are we? So it's really looking really good at this moment in time. Really, really happy with how the season started.
Martinelli's injury, Mikel Arteta's talked just a little about that. He felt something in his hamstring. It's always a difficult one, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, isn't it? Because he just scored that goal that got disallowed as well, didn't he? So he had a bad couple of minutes, didn't he? He scored a goal that was disallowed and then got the injury. But let's hope it's not too bad. I know with hamstrings you can't really tell. As long as he hasn't completely torn it, it may not be a long-term thing, maybe a week or two. I think maybe we would have made changes for the Champions League game on Wednesday anyway. So maybe he might not have played in that game in any case. So maybe it's not the end of the world, as long as it's not too serious. Obviously, if he's going to be out for a long time, then that's not good news because he's a key player. But having said that, Trossard came on and got the goal. So that's what you want to see, don't you? You want to see, if you lose a player, you want to have someone who can replace them, who can do a job. And obviously Trossard today got the brilliant goal to win us the match, and hopefully from his point of view it might mean he gets more minutes on the pitch in the next few games, which I think he deserves.
Yeah, I mean, these aren't the games that you'll remember for a long time afterwards, but they are the games that set you up for the next period that we've got coming up. You know, this late summer into autumn now and towards Christmas is a time when things can go really well. But we also know this can be a time when you suddenly get on one of those rolls and it's not quite so good. You get one or two injuries and 2 or 3 games slip past without a victory, and suddenly you're playing catch-up again.
Yeah, I mean, I think this season more than ever. I mean, last season Man City didn't start particularly well, did they?
No.
And we had a big advantage over them for a while, whereas this season it seems as though Man City are winning games every single week, and we know they're not going to make too many errors. They're not going to slip up too often. All we can do is keep winning as many as we can, and these are big games. They're important games. I say, especially at places in the past where we've struggled so badly. It's great to have got this out of the way early in the season. We've got the victory now, and I'm sure Everton will improve as the season goes on, and maybe it was a good sign that we're playing them when their confidence is a bit low. They didn't offer much, did they, in the attacking sense, but you still have to go and win the game, and we did. And yeah, it is a good sign for me that, you know, we're playing catch up a little bit. We were late starting this weekend. Everyone else played yesterday, got the 3 points, and we were behind and had to win. And there's a little bit more pressure when that's the situation, and we've dealt with it really well and won the game. So yeah, it's all at this moment in time, it's all good. It's still early days, and obviously a lot of games to play. A lot can happen between now and the end of the season. But as things stand at the minute, all we can do is keep winning. And if Man City do slip up, and when they do slip up, and they're not going to win every game, let's be honest, they're not going to win all 38, are they? So they're going to drop points. We need to be there and take advantage of that, make sure that we're picking up the points in the meantime to stay on their heels. That's all we can keep doing. And hopefully, when it comes down to it this year, we can be a little bit closer at the end when it matters.
Yeah, and certainly have learnt a little bit more, got a little bit more physicality as well within the side, I think, too. And I mean, there isn't a different look. We're still very early, aren't we, in the season, having most of the sides only played 5 games. But, you know, with Manchester United having a shocker, Chelsea having a shocker as well, and yet 1 or 2 other clubs like Brighton now beginning to show that they really have been well, not just managed, but the owners seem to have got things right at 1 or 2 of these other clubs now. And they're very realistically part of the chase, certainly for Europe, if nothing more than that.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, it's good for the Premier League, isn't it? Because it's nice to see other clubs sometimes having success. I mean, Brighton are playing in Europe this season for the first time. You know, it's been great for them as a club. You've got West Ham, of course, won a European trophy last season. They've had a great start to the season as well. And it's nice, isn't it, to have different teams, you know, up there, because otherwise it gets a little bit too predictable, doesn't it? If you've just got the same 2 or 3 teams every year challenging for everything. And it's nice for these other teams to, I mean, Brighton now have had a few seasons, haven't they, sustained success for them. And it's great. And, you know, hopefully it's going to mean that things might change a little bit towards the top of the table in the next few years. Hopefully Arsenal will still be there or thereabouts. But if there's other teams challenging, if we see a few different faces in there, to me, that's a good thing for football in general, isn't it? Because everybody wants to believe their club's got the opportunity to have success. And when you see a team like Brighton and you see teams like West Ham doing so well, it can make anybody believe that it's possible. Even in this day and age with the money in football and the way that football's going, it's nice that other smaller clubs, if you like, historically, are still able to compete.
Sure.
And it's great for the Premier League. I think it makes it much more interesting as a spectacle to watch for other people as well.
Just thinking about the coming week as well, Champions League action, of course, Eindhoven at home, and then just a little matter also at home of a North London derby at the weekend. This is quite a tester of a week.
I mean, this is what it's about, though, isn't it? It's an exciting week, isn't it? You know, we've waited a long time to be back in the Champions League again. It's a bit unfortunate maybe that our first game is against a team that we actually played in the Europa League last season, and we're playing them now in the Champions League. So it's not almost like we've changed competitions really, but it's great to be back in it. We're going to have the Champions League theme back at the Emirates again, which is going to be great. And yeah, once we've got that game out of the way, hopefully we can start with a good result. It's of course Tottenham next weekend, which is going to be, two unbeaten teams. We're level on points with them going into the game. They had a great result yesterday, and that's going to be an exciting one, isn't it? I think there's no doubt about that. And it's nice to have these games early in the season when so much expectations are. I mean, that's going to be an incredible game next Sunday, I'm sure. And let's hope that, we can be sitting here talking about an Arsenal victory again, because, that's the one game of the season that we really have to win.
I don't like to look too far ahead into a season at all, but with the Champions League getting underway, as you've mentioned, and one or two of the other games, and some of your home games, you got that win at Goodison today, but some of your home games just coming up as well. You've got the likes of your London derbies against Brentford to come as well, but it's away at Chelsea, but before that, home to Manchester City. This is an absolutely crucial time, I feel, for Arsenal.
It is, and I mean, maybe it's slightly better this year. Last season, we didn't play Manchester City at all until the second half of the season. We didn't play them at home until, I think it was January or February, wasn't it, the first time we played them? So it's maybe better this season to get a game against them quite early on. And we're at home as well, which is an advantage. I know they beat us there last year, but they beat us there most years recently. But I think at this moment in time, I think you can see with this Arsenal team this season so far, there's something slightly different about us.
Yeah.
We're able to win when not playing well. That was something last season we didn't do enough of, and that's what cost us ultimately in the end. Whereas this season, we're winning games without playing well. And I'm actually last season I was dreading playing Man City because I was worried about how the game might have gone. And as it turned out, both the games wasn't great from our perspective. But this time, I'm actually really looking forward to playing them at home, because I feel as though we've got momentum with us at the minute. Yes, they're winning games, we know that, but we've got the momentum at the minute. We're playing well, and I'm actually excited to be playing these sort of games now. We've got Tottenham coming up, big game. Man City, as you said, Brentford's a tough game. Chelsea, I know they're not playing well, but that's a tough place to go. And it's exciting, isn't it? This is what we want to. We want to be involved in these type of games, and if we can keep winning the majority of them, it's going to give us massive forward momentum going into the rest of the season, isn't it? I mean, if we beat Man City, wow, that would be incredible, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I think as well, one of the important things is this is where, with somebody like Arteta in charge, he's not letting the young side with now more experience, having seen what it's like to get as far as you did last season, to understand what it's like to be under that sort of different pressure, what you have to do to make sure that you continue to get things right when you are up there and ready for others to shoot you down and what have you. That's why I think today's result will be such an important one, in that, these are the things that you have to do if you are eventually going to lift the title.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's no question, is there, that this is the type of game Man City win. They don't play well always. Last season, they did it so many times. They went away from home. They win a game 1-0. They find a way to win. And that's what you have to do. And if Arsenal are going to be successful this season and win some big trophies that we hope that we can, these results are what we're going to have to, not just today, we're going to have to do it more and more often throughout the season, because you don't always win titles by beating all your rivals. You win titles by winning these type of games on a regular basis. And today was a massive step forward, because last season we lost to Everton. And, you know, if we'd lost points today, then everyone would have started to question the team again, wouldn't they? And said, has this team got the mentality to go and do it? Well, today we've shown we have got the mentality. We've gone away to Everton and we've won. First time we've won at Everton for a long, long time. So, yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And I'm sure that if we can keep, you know, if we can get a positive result against Tottenham next week, then, again, that's going to put us in a really, really good place. And maybe some of the criticism that Arsenal got last season for not being able to deal with the pressure, and we didn't. I don't think there's any you can't really question that because of the results that when the pressure was on. I think this season now we've got a great opportunity to show that we did it today. Let's keep doing this now. Let's push on and show everybody that this team can cope with the pressure. And I think Declan Rice actually has made a massive difference to that. He's got that mentality there. He doesn't accept anything else. You know, he's just come off a brilliant season for West Ham, winning a trophy in Europe. And he's brought that straight into our team. And I think more than anything else, not just him, but I think him added into that team now has made such a big difference to the whole mentality of the whole group of players. He's brought that winning mentality in, hasn't he, straight away. Yeah. And I'm really, really optimistic now that we're not going to, when the pressure's on, I don't feel now that we are going to collapse like last season. I was very worried that we would, and we did. This season, I'm starting to think, you know what? I think this team can cope a lot better now. And maybe last season's going to help us. Yeah. It didn't seem like it at the time. We're all disappointed at the way it went. But maybe now, looking back on it, if we can learn a lot from that and benefit this season, then it'd be worth it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think you will. And I think it was a very important win for you today and a big week to come. And you'll be able to follow all this week's football, as always, with everything else that you want to on Talk Sport. And right now, it's Majestic, along with Alan Pardew, taking your calls on all the big games of the weekend, as always. Here, if you want to message us, 87222 to talk on 0344 499 1000 if you want to give us a call, and through social media at Mark Saggers and at Talktv, with you right the way through till 10 o'clock. Concentrating on the football right now, we'll be keeping you up to date with everything to do with England. Play Japan in the World Cup. Kick off 8 o'clock tonight.